Yeah, hey, we're live. Welcome to the show. So, I hope everybody is well. I'll answer a question. Hey, Steph, what's your review of the Logitech keyboard you have in the video thumbnail? Right here. This is the best keyboard I have ever used, and I've been keyboarding for over 100 years. And this is the best mouse I ever used. It never gets gunked up. And other mice, I have to clean them all the time. Real pain. This is such a great combination. I've used so many other keyboards. Real good keyboards. A Microsoft keyboard, they have a really good one. The Apple keyboard is very, very good as well. But this Logitech here, and in full disclosure, they sent me these things for free, but I would have bought them. I highly, highly recommend. They're really very good. So that's my review on that. Hail, Steph. Hologram Nunchuck. I can never forget that name. Greetings, everybody. That's the official salute. And good morning from Australia. Very cool, very cool. Colombia. Very good. I was in Colombia once. Very briefly, but I was there. So many people are online. 57, that's not bad. So when we get to about 100, I will start the content. And if you're watching this in the rerun, if you will, I will put a link in the first comment to the subject at hand so we can get into it. So once again, I'm going to be reading an article I found online. I find it interesting. I'll read a piece, see what they have to say, give you my 2 cents about it, and we'll take it from there. Bill Burrows, is that for Mac? Yes, it works on both Mac and PC. I'm using it right now on my iMac with no difficulties whatsoever. Hey, Steph, what an API. You got this. API, Application Programming Interface. All right. Yo, Sergeant Camacho, how are you? Thanks for joining the stream. Hello, Nikhil Kumar from India. Very cool. Hiya, Steph, Crazy Town, USA. Rob Burns. Hey, Rob, how are you? Thanks for joining again. Hello from Germany. All right. Ricardo, how's everything, my friend? I'm pretty good, Ricardo. Thanks for asking. I'm pretty good. It was a nice warm day today, so I took a walk, and it was good. Black Jaguar. Hey, Steph, the like button guys. That guy Black Jaguar, he's pretty smart. Yeah, the likes are cool because it tells Google that you like the stream, spreads it around a little bit, yada, yada, yada. Hello from Dallas, Texas, John Vasquez. Very cool. Yes, I that's one of the next places I mean to go. I haven't had a chance to go down to Texas yet. So as soon as this COVID thing goes away, that's one of the places I'm heading down in the States for sure. Salut from New Jersey. Michel Petit-Frère. Michel Petit-Frère, est-ce que tu es français ou vous êtes québécois? Are you French, English? Let me know. Are you French from France? So you've been using a keyboard for the last 169 years. 100 years. Have you tried hacking a keyboard before? How do you organize track projects with your team? Any tools, methods, e.g. Canon? Well, I use Slack for communications. We use something called Freedcamp, I think it's called. I use that to assign tasks to people. You got to use whatever's good for you. All right, how are we doing for people? Almost 100. When we hit 100, I'll jump into the subject. Hello from Florida. Sup, Deron. Greetings from Greece. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Manos. I appreciate it. All right. Lithuania. Wow. Montreal. On est là. All right. Representing. Loco. Okay, Los Angeles. WordPress rocks. Steph from Iowa. Hey, how are you? Phoenix. All over the place. Eat Perrault. Oh my God, another Montrealer, local dudes. Hey, from Greater Montreal, another one. Wow, all these Montrealers. Hey, Stefan, have you heard about Svelte recently? SvelteKit? No, I have not. There we go, of course. Michel Petit-Frère. Haïti, comme on dit ça en français. C'est cool. Yeah. Hi, what's the best way to learn JS? Promises. What's the best way to learn JS? Do your fundamentals and write code. Learn any to learn any programming language, you got to write code. Coding and caffeine. Ton français est excellent, Stéphane. Félicitations. Merci beaucoup. J'essaie. C'est pas souvent que je parle français. En conséquence, il y a des fois que j'oublie les mots. I just told him it's rare, but I speak French these days, unfortunately. So sometimes I forget words. There's something about up here in Quebec, bilingual here, French, English, and if you speak to a Quebecer, a lot of times they'll move from French to English in the same sentence. It's just how we speak up here. Yes, because cheers from San Diego. Ah, San Diego. I hear that's one of the most stunning places to go. Louisiana. There we go. England. Cool. Colorado. All over the place. France is watching you. Fantastic. Bonjour, Tony M. Philippines. Ah, another beautiful place. Man, the world, lots of great places. Do your SaaS customers have their own servers or all run off same one? Same one, because it is a lot of the clients that, they may have 100 users, 50 users. So there would be no point having their own server installs, although it would be pretty doable. But for the maintenance of the code base ourselves, we just have one application with some exceptions. We do have another virtual server dedicated for one particular client, a pretty big district, and they want to manage, they directly manage their own classrooms and their schools. They have many schools in that district that utilize StudioWeb, so they want to manage their student roles. Stream quality has been automatically lowered because of internet connection. No! Sorry, so if the stream starts kicking off, my apologies. Yeah, it's just the time of the day. Probably a lot of people logging on. No. We have one client who we allow them to manage their own classroom. So we set up their own virtualized server, not in terms of the app, but just a place where they can upload their old documents. We don't allow anybody to have direct access to our main server. So we set up another virtualized server through DigitalOcean, and they upload their stuff through the droplet there. They had an automated system on their end. So when new classrooms are set up or new schools are added, it uploads that data to our remote droplet and our system, which runs on a cron. And cron is just a process that fires off every minute. It's server bound. It's server created. Every modern server will support this functionality. And it checks to see if they've uploaded any new classroom information. They can add students, move students from classroom A to B, from school A to B, etc. And then we download that data. We process it and say if it's good, we update their classrooms. If it's no good, we send them a message back to their administrator saying, hey, you got a bit of a mistake in your file. And we do it all through CSV rather than JSON because that's what their people are comfortable with. Hey, Stef's greetings from Croatia. Do you think it's still worth learning Jquery? Still worth learning Jquery. Yeah, I put that in the Need2Nerd category. I'm going to have to do a video on the main silo, if you will, the main tranche, the main slice of text that are must learn versus the Need2Nerd technologies like Jquery. Jquery is fading pretty quickly. I would not be too concerned about it. It's lost its mojo. All right, how are we doing? Okay, 141. So I'm going to jump into the subject, and I'll get back to the Q&A. Okay, how are we doing for time? 9 minutes. All right, so that's about right. All right, so let's just do it, and we'll take it from there. So here's an article I found on the site, Medium. I've never read this. I like reading it live with you guys for the first time. I just see a good title. Okay, it could be a good article, it could be a bad article, it could be an article I agree with things. We'll see what happens. So top technologies that will transform web development 2020. Whoa, a little bit late. This Sophia woman wrote this in August, so it's kind of late, but we'll see what it is. So we'll see what she has to say about that. Web improvement Can everybody see pretty clearly? Let me just zoom in here. All right, that's good. Okay, web improvement encompasses a gigantic arrangement of rules and procedures each site engineer should think about. Sometime in the past, HTML, CSS3, JavaScript, PHP, MySQL were utilized to be the fundamental web improvement advances to build up a site or web application. That's a weird statement. Anyway, in any case, with the rise of a few new web improvement advances, instrument structures, dialects over the most recent couple of years, she likes being very, very cryptic. Right? It has now gone very tiring for one to choose what to focus on. It isn't generally news that organizations today need to have a solid online nearness for that building. What is she saying? Let me try that again. It isn't generally news that organizations today need to have a solid online nearness. What does that mean? And for that, building a site is critical. The web and the computerized world are developing ceaselessly, developing at an amazing rate. Okay, is this woman, is her first language English? No insult, but glance around, you see nearly everybody is attempting to become, maybe I should pre-read these. Glance around, you see that nearly everybody is attempting to become one on the grounds that interest out there is very high. Become one on the ground. Okay, okay, I'm going to skim this article. Blah, blah, blah. In 2018, 52.2% of all website traffic worldwide was generated through mobile phones, up from 50.3% in the previous year. So mobile development is going up at a clip of, 5% a year? Something like that, yeah. Mobile currently accounts for half of all global web pages served. Okay, so that isn't something new. For years and years, you got to write websites that are I guess mobile first. I guess there's more mobile. This is in 2018, so yeah, I guess mobile first as usual. But if you build your sites, with modern web technologies, and modern layout techniques, you'll be fine, right? Responsive websites. Yeah. I present you with a detailed guide on the latest web development technology 2020 and an entire list, trusting it will make things at any rate somewhat simpler for you. Let's dive in. Top web app development, Webassembly. Oh, let's see what this is all about. Webassembly is another huge accomplishment in the web improvement world. I don't believe this person's first language is English, so kudos to her on her attempts here. This is viewed as the closest companion of JavaScript with some announcing up of the coming age of JavaScript, which is a little quick parallel configuration. Okay, hold on. WebAssembly can assist designers with building rapid web applications, are especially required in games, music, CAD applications. Okay, so movement user interface UI design. Clients today request remarkable client experience, a better UI plan that is simple to use with natural safe progression of data in the mystery of drawing in target large crowds. Okay. All right, I'm going to skim this article. I should have pre-read this. Utilization of chatbots. Okay, that's actually going away. Artificial intelligence. Okay, as per Gartner, man-made brain power, AI is estimated to reach 3.9 trillion out of 2022. It reached 3.9 trillion what? Sales? What? I don't think so. Numerous associations are fusing AI into their advanced change technique. Okay. Oh, boy. Okay, so there's a lot of AI going on. That's also true. Let's continue. According to research firm Tractica, the global artificial intelligence software market is forecast to experience massive growth in the coming years, with revenues increasing from around 10 billion to expect 126 billion in 2025. That is true. There's no question about that. I have a couple of friends who are now using AI in their own applications. One guy is in education support, and the other guy is it's a weird. How can I describe his business? He's not in education. He deals with larger corporations, and his AI is it's kind of a chatbot in a way, but it has all kinds of other capabilities. It's hard to describe. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that one. Anyway, I know a couple of people are using AI today in their businesses. One, it's for one person, the AI is not the main selling point. It's just an assistive technology. And the other guy, the AI is the business. So you see both happening. So yeah, it's true. AI is getting Huge. All right, number 5, dynamic web applications, PWA, of course, yes. Dynamic web applications is the following enormous thing in the realm of versatile apps. Web develop, okay. Yes, PWA is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. There's no question about it. This is sliding and picking up its force due to the ability to work, disconnect, and match up substance to different. Okay, we're gonna go on. My apologies. I appreciate this article, but the English is much to be desired. Blockchain has changed advancement, effectiveness, and changed security information innovations. Oh my God. Okay, blockchain, yeah, it's a niche technology, but it's good. Like, for instance, they could use, oh, I forgot to change to the screen. My apologies. Okay, let's go back. Blockchain could be used to solve all these election shenanigans and problems, right? I'm not saying there was cheating, or I'm not going to say anything about that. I don't know, but there's questions that are out there. So with blockchain, you could actually basically have super solid elections that are instantly understood, whether who won or lost around the world. So it'd be fantastic to leverage blockchain. The idea of having to go to a place or to mail in, that's where blockchain is a really good application right there. Anyway, flourishing message pop-ups. The route in mobile application, a site having pop-up message can take you on count. Okay, next. Single page application, SPA. A solitary page application is web application or site interfaces with a client by progressively changing the current page. Okay, yeah, we talked about that earlier. I'm not a huge fan of that, except for single page applications. It can have certain advantages. It's nothing new, really. I explained in the past, we used to call a single page application, we used to call those Model 1 type of apps. Kind of. This is kind of an evolution of that. All right, let's go back. Web server software. The term web worker can allude to either equipment, physical, or product that conveys your site to the end client. Okay, oh my God. Okay, so I was talking about this earlier, how server technology is getting so sophisticated that a lot of things that we'd had to engineer in our applications before, like scaling, database sharding, etc., it could all be handled by the server. Now, you have to initially design your app in some circumstances to be able to take advantage of this very modern server tech. But what it's worth doing, because you can then it pulls out a lot of the complexity out of application development, especially when it comes to scaling and so forth. So I think that's what this author is alluding to. Okay, computerized transformation. Computerized change can be overwhelming, and each industry needs to stay arranged for another change. Numerous businesses that utilize conventional CMS are going towards headless CMS. So this is about headless CMS. Headless is a CMS plan explicitly for static sites that can be coordinated with numerous stages through different gadgets. Okay, it very well may be utilized for long lengths. Okay, anyway. We'll continue. AMP wins. Since the time Google discovered versatile, agreeable sites more significant. Oof. According to the report of Adobe in 2017, accelerated mobile pages, AMP adds 7% adds to 7% of all web traffic for the best distributors of the U.S. Okay. Okay, I should have read a little bit of this before. Yeah, I'm not familiar with AMP, so I don't have any comment about that. My apologies. VR, AR, expanded reality, virtual reality advances, look and encouraging based on our capability to change the manner in which associations happen among the sites. Okay, what is? Oh my God. Okay, AR, VR, niche technology, but it could be a very profitable niche. Now that iPhones and modern Android phones have dedicated processors can help with that, I think that would be interesting. All right. Let's see what we got. Let's go back to the report here. This report includes forecasts for VR, AR users in the U.S. and analysis of forces shaping the growth of these technologies. See what she has to say here. Okay, AR, it's going up, 85%. What is it, 80%? 85 million. VR non-headset users, VR headset. Yeah, well, VR headset. I'm surprised it would be that high. Yeah. All right. Top web app development frameworks. This is the same article. All right, so we'll see what she has to say. Top web app development frameworks. Let's see. You'd expect to create intuitive web applications with the most recent apparatuses. Sorry. And innovations to stay pertinent and okay, let's go on. PHP, hypertext preprocessor, or PHP is a worker-side scripting language planned for making groundbreaking dynamic. Oh my God. Okay, this is gotta stop. They call it now PHP. They say it's hypertext preprocessor. That's what they call it now. That's just marketing. PHP was personal homepage. That's what it was. They're trying to change it to make it sound better. According to WordPress.org, 64% According to WordPress.org, 64% of WordPress sites are using PHP 7 or lower, with 22.9% of the plurality using PHP 5.6. What was this? No date. I assume it's recent. So let's see what we got here. 5. The 5s, 5.6. Anybody use? Okay, so it's all in the 5 and the 7s. All the 5 and the 7s. Unless, for the most part, if you're writing PHP code in PHP, to migrate from PHP 5 to 7, it's not difficult at all. A Symfony. Symfony is a web application that was first evolved by a Frenchman called Fabien Potencier. His web development organization called Senseo Labs upheld his task. This is a web application, a lot of reusable PHP. Okay, now Symfony error is very good, but by far and away, Laravel is the most prominent of the PHP frameworks. Express.js, this is the MVC that sits on top of Node. Python Django with more than 5,000 occupation poses. Okay, we'll continue. Okay, growth of programming languages. Growth of programming languages based on Stack Overflow questions, views, and World Bank high income. Python, JavaScript, Java, C#, PP. Whoa, it's going down. But you look at this. You gotta look at the different data sets though. Ruby on Rails. Okay, we're gonna skip that. Let's just go by. Okay, we'll go on Rails. Popularity alluded to as ROR, Ruby on Rails has risen as one of the top picks among web engineers today. Since its dispatch in its dispatch. All right, we'll go on. Yeah, Ruby on Rails is still around. Angular. Here's Laravel. Conclusion is I should have previewed this article. There you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Yeah, I'm gonna screen. Unfortunately, she a lot of work and effort put into that piece. Kudos to her. English definitely not her first language. That's okay. I'm sure wherever she's from, I can only write French and English. So kudos to her. Anyhow, let's answer some questions. Ukraine. Hey, how are you? Hello from the Ukraine, from the Philippines. Okay. Canadians, Oilers, Flames, Maple Leafs, or Canucks? Neither. I'm not a hockey fan. Hey, Stef, greetings from Croatia. Very cool. Do you think it's still worth learning jQuery? I think I answered that. Yeah. Have you heard of GPT-3? Yes, I commented on a few videos back. That one looks like it will have huge effects on web design development. I don't think so, not yet, but in time, perhaps. Blazor serves great new front-end framework. I love C# in the browser. Oh, very cool. Hello, Didi. How are you? Morris Taylor. Je peux parler en français un petit amount, I think. I think you can. Bonjour. Why does none of your vid blow up? Why does none of your vid blow up? Oh, you mean in terms of views? I have one video at 1.2 million views. I have several videos in the hundreds of thousands. Depends on the subject, Cheers from Vancouver Island. I heard it's quite nice there. I have family out in Vancouver. Hi from Denmark. Morocco, Tahiti, very cool. Wow, all around the world. Python recently displaced Java to second place in the Taiwan Index. What do you think? I think I answered that recently. I think Python needs to be adopted by companies as it happened. What do you think Python needs to be? I don't see Python replacing Java. I just think that there's been a rise in fields, AI, and the data sciences that causes a rise in Python. That's all. I don't see them as competitive in any way. Ricardo, not as old as you. I'm only 110 years old. Hey, young lad. Been a coder for 25 years. Wow. Switch stacks following your advice to listen to the market. Your Python was a lifesaver. Got up to speed in 15 days. Oh, you won. Hey, I'm glad I could help Ricardo. Fantastic. Yeah, if you got a background, you can be up to speed super quick in any other tech. Once you have your basis, once you have your background, your fundamentals, you're solid, then you can start looking around based on the market. And as you expand your skill set horizontally, meaning new skills, the more options you're going to have. But that being said, as I've always said, if you know your fundamentals and you're well-versed in a particular stack and you're working, I would learn on communication skills, writing skills, etc., etc. That is going to improve your salary and your marketability as a developer or technologist, if you will. How was programming 150 years ago? We had to use punch cards and typewriters, so it was not that easy. What do we got here? What's better for shared hosting, PHP or Node? I think they're both fine. They're both fine. Especially with virtualization, right? They're isolated from each other. Who cares? I love to know what themes or tools you use when using WordPress. I've been trying out Understrap and Sage. Do you know of any other great tools other than plugins? For StudioWeb and the Killer Sites Network, which is killersites.com, killerphp.com, how to build websites, etc. We have our own custom theme that we built a long time ago. It's visual. It's got no functionality beyond it's because those sites are just blog sites. So I don't have any suggestions offhand. Will Rust and WebAssembly transform web development? I don't believe so. I think they may be around or may not be around in 5 years. I think they will be niche technologies at best. I don't think they offer a good enough improvement for them to be able to replace the current technologies. Stef, how in depth should a cover letter be to a company? Keep it simple and to the point. Decision makers don't have time to read very complex resumes. You want to keep it very simple and make sure that you put to the fore, you put on top that which they will be concerned with. So you may be, let's say, highly experienced in C#, .NET, and Python, and AI programming or system automation. And if you're applying for a job where they're going to be doing C#, .NET, make sure that is at the top. That's at the top. I hope that makes sense. Do you know the joke about omelette du fromage? No, I do not know that joke. Do you use Docker container on your servers? No, we do not. Final word, Java with Spring or JS with Node? For new companies, I would go JS Node just because of the development time. Although that being said, I haven't looked at what Java Spring does these days. I've heard they've really tightened it up in terms of development time. I would love a video about, no, don't waste your time. End-to-end, Need2Nerd, exactly. Need2Nerd is key. Need2Nerd is key. I'll do a Need2Nerd video. I have to. Yeah. What's the benefit of hosting your PWA on AWS rather than on a managed VPS? Well, you have to look at the services that AWS provides relative to the services that any other managed VPS might provide. as an example, the scaling I talked about before, database scaling, automatic scaling. I think for most of us, I would suggest a managed VPS so you can concentrate on building your apps rather than working about having to figure out how to do massive configurations. Although I think they have a new product for smaller sites, AWS is more or less geared for larger implementations, larger projects, where you have people who are going to be working a lot AWS. Although I was told that they do have products coming out or they're out for smaller projects. That's what you're seeing, even with DigitalOcean, which is they're adding more and more capabilities, so everything is managed, so you don't have to worry about taking care of the server. If you've been watching my videos for the last few years, I've been talking about that, how I don't think it makes any sense for web developers to have to become server managers. And sure enough, the market is responding to that, so they take care of all that, updating, patching it, updating it, configuring it. You should be able to just get that dialed in for you as a developer. Old WordPress, Drupal, Joomla uses Jquery. For anything else, I recommend using Svelte for the future. There you go. Hi, the Retro Man. Hi from Romania. Smash hologram nunchuck knows. Bot written article. Yeah, it could be. That article was not very well written. Or it sounded like somebody whose first language was not English. And they were using, could have been a bot, yeah. It was pretty poorly written, though. That article was written by AI bot Stef. Yeah. It seems like it. That has been written by minions. Emmanuel Goussot says, Bonjour, got weak internet, no more any Adobe tools because of COVID. I don't understand what that means. Bonjour, got weak internet, no more any Adobe tools because of COVID. I cannot translate that sentence. Keyboard and thumbnail, Logitech MX, right here. What is it called? Yeah, MX Keys. Whoa. It's a very good keyboard. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I should put a affiliate link. People keep asking me about that keyboard. If that was written by a bot, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, it was. I will not do that anymore. I got a dud. Most of the time the articles are okay in terms of the writing, but that one was just horrendous. Is C++ good for AI? Is C++ good for AI? For the core engines, they use C++, but everything else they're using Python, or maybe R, I think. But I think Python is going to be generally what they're going to be writing doing AI in. My office is close to Logitech headquarters in Lausanne, Swiss. Well, they make excellent mice and keyboard. Are you recruiting? I am in Reims. No recruiting at this time. Oh, catching live streams. Thanks for the video, Stef. Not a problem, Travis. Mr. Hippo, we're good. Coding and caffeine, indeed. Yeah, right here. I get black coffee. I go for medium roast, and then I put a little bit of vanilla extract in there. That's what I like to drink. I never could get into the habit of developing mobile first. Yeah, just write responsive-based websites and you're fine, Stef, I'm assuming you're chroma keying your background in this video. No, I am not. This is just right out of camera. I'm using a cinema camera, and I am using an 18-35 f1.8 lens. What does that all mean translated outside of camera nerd talk? It's a lens that will basically blur out the background. So if you watch, it keeps me focused. See how it's getting more focused in the back? It's coming more into focus as I get closer to it. But no, it's not a chroma key. communications here. How we doing for time? Ooh, okay, I'm going to wrap this up. Answer a couple more questions out of here. Perhaps, Travis, perhaps. Facebook will die when all your grandmothers leave the world. Facebook is more or less for older people, as far as I understand. I don't think it will die because of Instagram. What camera are you using now? I am using something called the Canon C200 Mark III. All right. Tonight, Stefan is reviewing article writing services. Yes, indeed. I get that all the time, by the way. I get people say, can we write for your blog? Can you write your articles? I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. Thank you very much. What is the best hosting platform? I couldn't say. There's a lot of good ones out there. Like if you're starting out, you don't need AWS. If you're just starting out, you don't need DigitalOcean. But if you have a big project coming up, those are good platforms to work off of. Greetings from Lithuania. Greetings. Hey, I love the channel, man. Thank you. Thank you, Drake. All right. Is that a lamp or a candle in the background? It is a light bulb. It is just a light bulb. It's actually an LED that's designed to look like a classic Edison bulb. That's all that is. All right. Hey, man, I'm looking for affordable but great hosting solution for quick JavaScript deployment and prototyping. Not planning for backend for now. Maybe add it later. What would you recommend? I think any hosting solution will be able to handle that no problemo. So I would, anyone is fine, anyone is fine. So I would just go whatever's out there, I partner with one that's good. Okay. Do YouTube videos pay cumulatively over all views, or it is per 1,000 views on each video? That's a good question. No, I think it's cumulatively because every view. That's a good question. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Greetings from El Salvador. Do you think Python is going to become widely used in web development? I think it's going to be used, but I don't think it's going to be wildly used. It could, depending on how popular it gets in the I don't know. It's a good question. Maybe over time, but I'm not. I love PHP, I really do, but I can't risk to use it for a production professional project due to lack of debugging tools. Since you've got a professional PHP web, how do you handle debugging? IDEs. So it's all in the IDE. And then there are frameworks that you could put in. We're actually implementing that now. I forget what it's called now. I'm not writing it now. We're implementing a unit testing framework in StudioWeb. I'll have to get the name of it for you. Hey there, what about Ruby? Okay, how do I block this guy? I'm just kidding. Yeah, sure, it's fine. As I say, all the, whether it be PHP Laravel, Ruby Rails, Python Django, Flask, C#.NET, Java Boot, Node.js, they're all going to produce good apps. So you choose which one works depending on a whole bunch of factors. Let's see what we got here. Do you think Webassembly will be big? No, I don't think it's going to be big, but it'll have its place. I would ask a weird question. I read about Pascal language. It was invented during the 70s. How come programming language invented before? How come programming language invented before the internet? For home computers and for mainframes and for computers. In 1995, Bill Gates famously thought that the internet was going to be some sort of fad. It would not last, if you can imagine that. Which one would you commit more, Mongo or Postgre? Generally speaking, I believe that most applications will be using SQL-based databases over no SQL. So I think that gives you your answer. I think I would probably invest more in Postgre just because of that. It's not a question of quality between the products. It's just a question of use case. All right, Zedouan Mexi. I probably pronounced your first name improperly, and my apologies. Hello, any news about Flutter for Web, please? Don't know. I haven't looked at it recently. I liked it originally when it first came out in beta publicly. I hear people are doing really good things with it, but I don't know. I would have to look into that. Okay, how are we doing? All right, it's 40 minutes. All right, my friends, I'm done. I'm trying to keep them a little shorter so I do more often. I'll try to avoid bot-written articles in the future. I'll do a little skim reading before, because I wanted to do like sort of an authentic, we both read it at the same time type of situation, but that could lead to problems. All right. That's about it. All right. So we'll talk soon. Have yourself a great day, evening, or whatever it happens to be for you. And we'll see you soon. So I'll end off once again with my ultra relaxing ASMR by the ocean in Maine video. I took this about a year or so ago. Anyway, ciao.